are live. So let's see some posts, comments. Hi, hello from people, so you guys can hear us. Usually YouTube takes about 30 seconds for there's a delay. So, but for the people listening, there'll be no delay. But so we'll have to just wait. Yes, we have got hi from ebook share. Interesting. Okay, wonderful. So, welcome everyone. I'm absolutely thrilled to have this gentleman with me. He is Associate Dean of Jindal Global Law School, one of the prominent law school in this country. His name is Anand Prakash Mishra. And what we'll do in the next hour or so, next hour or so, what we'll do is we'll discuss about LSAT, we'll discuss about the admissions, we'll discuss about scholarship, and there's an opportunity that you have to ask questions. So keep posting questions on the chat box. We'll pick up the question as and when it happens. If you have any questions, just don't wait. Just keep posting it. Whichever is relevant questions that you have, we'll keep picking. Uh, Hello, Dakshveer. Hello, Shivam. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, to start with, sir, how are you doing? I think, I
Yeah,
hope
thank you.
everything is
Yeah, all good in Sonipat except this extreme summer. Delhi and Haryana is like extreme weather these days. But other than that, it's all great. And from the university side, it's like the time for summer vacation. So students have vacated the hostels and like the term exams going and the university is slowly becoming empty,
okay.
but then of course it's also time to make preparations to welcome the new students for 22-27 batch, and in that context LSAT India exam is important. In that context, students being informed about admission process as well as prepare well for the entrance exam, that is something very very important for them, those who are aspiring to study law. And it's such a delight to be with you after a long time, because I consider you as one of the, I will say, the greatest mentors for not just LSAT and CLAT, but even CAT, GMAT, any aptitude exam. You are one of the veterans, and maybe you yourself do not know how many students' lives you have, in a way, impacted by helping them getting into IIMs, to even business schools abroad and law schools in India, and almost all premier institutions. So it's always a great pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for those kind words. I'm going to pick up the questions here. I think this is a good place to start. How much marks are needed for Jindal Global Law School? So you could talk about the percentile cutoff. Then accordingly, I can figure out what could be the marks for them. That could be a
Absolutely. Frankly, Jijo, only you can tell marks, because nobody can tell exact marks. In LSAT exam, LSAT India results, which are released by LSAC in the US, it's based on a percentile system, as well as uh, 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 I will say a score band which is given to every student. So whoever takes the exam is put in the band of 420 to 480 marks, and whether you answer one question, even then it's a 420. The band is like a band of 420 to 424. You may be put in that band, and the highest band could be like 476 to 480 or 478 to 480. So, but what we use for admission is percentile score, and percentile score is very very scientific, because if you get a 90 percentile, that means you are in top 10% of test takers, and 90% students are below you. So if I look at the LSAT percentile, the cutoff of Jindal, for last 5 years, and particularly I will say last year in 2021, we released our first list above 80 percentile, and our BLLB honors program seats were filled. And then we released the second list at 70 percentile, and all BBLLB honors program were filled. And the third list was 60 percentile, when all the BCom LLB honors, the third program seats were filled, and the admissions were closed for the time being above 60 percentile score. So usually 60 percentile score secures a seat in 5-year law program till 2021. Now this year, it all depends how many students secure, marks above, say, 90 percentile, 80 percentile. But in any case, my idea is 70 to 75 percentile is a safe score. If you are in top 25% of test takers, you are absolutely safe to secure admission and in a program of your choice. Though if I look at all three programs, they are absolutely equal. And at Jindal Global Law School, we have further made it identical and equal in a way that only three courses, three subjects students study in BA LLB honors, BB LLB honors, and BCom LLB honors, which are different. Otherwise, all the law courses are exactly same. All the cross-registered electives are same. All minor electives, all other electives are same. So only three core courses are different. So what students do History 1 and History 2 in BA LLB honors, in BBA they study principles and practices of management or organizational behavior, and in BCom LLB they study accounting and audit and secretarial practice kind of papers. Otherwise, the entire 5-year law program is one and the same program. So any student can choose either of them.
So if you're telling 75 percentile, I can give you a guesstimate in terms of how many marks that you can get. Now, like Mr. Anand was telling us that these are kept. Please do understand that LSAT India is a very standardized test. So they have what they say that from their perspective, the score can be valid for 5 years. The school does not do that. School takes only the fresh scores. So what they do is they would want to ensure that the test is similar across. The minor level of difficulty is adjusted to these percentile. That's why they give the band score. But since a lot of you are asking, let's say if you want to get something close to about 80 percentile, out of the 92 questions, get about 55-ish questions correct. Okay, 55. I think getting about 55 to 60 questions net correct. There's no negative marking. Would be a safe place to be. Now there is a interesting question where people are interested about the 90th percentile score. And that I think to me linked to what Harsh is asking here is that Harsh just can't afford the fees, Anand. So, which brings us that to this idea that if you are able to achieve higher percentiles, which are percentiles greater than upward of 95,
90 above.
90, 90 above.
90 percentile above scholarships are available. Okay. And for a student like Harsh, I will say, even 100% tuition fee scholarships are available this year. But for that, you have to, of course, get a 99 percentile above or 99.5 percentile, depending on, there are 15 scholarships we are awarding in the entire law school, which are 100% tuition fee. But then there are over 200 scholarships of 50% tuition fee and 25% tuition fee. And they are also substantial scholarship. The annual tuition fee is 6 lakh rupees. So you get 3 lakh rupees waived for almost 5 years. If you are able to get the scholarship continued with your academic output, with your performance, because you should not be failing courses, you should not be debarred on attendance ground, and you should not be punished in a disciplinary committee proceedings if you want your scholarship to continue. So our experience is 90% of the students who receive a scholarship, their scholarship continues for all 5 years. But in 10% cases, the scholarships, of course, they are withdrawn or even revoked or reduced, depending on,
Yeah,
So
so basically, you have to be a good boy in the campus. Then,
yes, of course. If you are a good student, good means you need not be a topper in the class.
correct,
If you
correct.
are passing your courses and if you are getting a scholarship at the time of admission based on your LSAT India merit, your entrance exam merit, that scholarship continues for all 5 years.
I
So
mean, sorry. Here is where there is people like Harsh, okay, and I'm sure that good that you have raised this and asked this upfront, and we would obviously want you guys to be honest and we can address those issues. There is a general perception about the fact that you're talking about. I think you're talking about 15 people, like 200 people getting scholarship. Now, some of the laws, National Law University does not even have 200 seats.
very true.
So if you look at people with 50% scholarship, that's like so you tend to, if you are, so what you have to look at first is we have to apply to LSAT India, right? I think that is a must. I think there is no brainer to this. Okay, today is the last date. I don't know whether it'll extend, but today is the last day. We still have time. First is we go and
Very true.
apply. Think later. Second is now we have to uh, so Harsh is saying, "Look, I'm ready for JGLS." There you go. You've changed one person's mind. That is good news. Okay, so the thing is that now if you want to hit about 90 percentile, then I need to get scores which is close to about 60 to 65 in LSAT India. So maybe close to about 70. So you have got LSAT India has got 4 sections. It has got reading comprehension, 2 sections of critical reasoning, and 1 section of analytical reasoning. Now think about this. You are prepared for CLAT. CLAT is all comprehension based paper. You know concept of critical reasoning. You know reading comprehension. Analytical reasoning would be closer, similar to what you've seen in ALET. And on top of it, LSAT India as a test is a standardized test. You pick up the test series from LSSC or pick up my course, or don't even do that. There are free resources available by Khan Academy, which is got that is free for you, and there are past papers available with you. Just pick up those tests and just solve about 4 to 5 of them. The pattern of the test just don't change. It is a no brainer. So ladies and gentlemen, that's something that you have to look at. So now somebody is also very excited. Scholarship, sir, what are the measures? So what are the criteria for the scholarship? I think that we can
Sure, I
address.
will explain. There is, I will say, there is no merit scholarship in Jindal. It's all merit cum means scholarship. So merit cum means uh, you should be in the merit in the entrance exam. Merit is determined by the entrance exam, and means is determined by the parental income. So annual parental income should not be more than 30 lakh rupees as per the income tax return, ITR, or Form 16, or salary certificate, or income certificate of. So a lot of, I will say, lawyers and law firm people, even if their children, sometime I find they get 99 percentile or 98 percentile score, they study in full fee because they fulfill the merit criteria, but they are not able to fulfill the means criteria. The purpose of university is to give a scholarship money to those people who otherwise may not afford the fee, who otherwise may not afford to study at Jindal Global Law School. So the means criteria is a mandatory criteria. If annual parental income is less than 30 lakh, every student who gets a score more than 90 percentile will receive a scholarship.
Yeah, so it's fair. So essentially, most of the issues is about uh, making the fees affordable to people who have done well. So now there are a lot many questions in terms. I'll pick these questions now, and there are other questions that is coming up. I'll pick those as well. How to prepare for LSAT in such a short time, and then the thing is, I think somebody asked that questions as well. Okay, so the first thing that you would want to do is. And again, the next one is that, good evening, sir. I have just registered for LSAT. I have just started preparing 2 days back. Will I be able to crack the exam in less time? The answer to this question is yes. Right. So you have couple of choices. One choice I'm just putting on the chat box is a course that I run, which is I'm an official LSAT India trainer. I just put on the chat box. That is LSAT India 480. This is a set of recorded video lesson. I'm starting with live sessions from the 10th every single day. So uh, so that is one sort of one thing. The second thing is that you have official mock tests provided by LSAC Discover Law website. You can pick that one up. Now the key thing about LSAT India is, please understand, it is a, like I told you, it's very standardized test, 4 sections. If I talk about reading comprehension, I know there will be 4 passages. I know one passage will be from humanities, one from social sciences, one from natural sciences, one from law. If I look at analytical reasoning, there'll be 4 sets, crackable. There'll be critical reasoning question, which is standardized. So if you are already prepared for the CLAT, you can take the learning. Even if, let's say, you're not prepared for the CLAT, this is what you need to do. The most scoring section is analytical reasoning. So you would probably require about 3 days to, if you spend about 3 days solving the sets carefully, you'll be able to crack it. And then you have got, so let's plan in such a manner that out of the 23 questions, it's actually possible to get 20 questions correct. Now you have 2 sections of logical reasoning, which is critical reasoning question, 23 questions, 22 questions, that is 45. Reasonable practice will get to something close to 30. That already hit you a score of 50. And then you can get about 15 years. So once you plan uh, uh, once you the uh, plan this preparation, it's very easy to crack. I know some students who are cracked this test in 10 days with the right kind of preparation. So that's something I want to ask. Okay, so here I think there are just one more question. Sir, my family yearly income is 1 lakh per year, then what will be the fees? So he'll obviously, I think Anadi will be eligible.
So
You have to
Anadi
get
will be eligible for a scholarship. The only thing needed is now you have to prove your merit, and you should be getting a score above 90 percentile to be eligible for a scholarship. If you get a 99 percentile or 99.9 percentile, you may get 100% tuition fee waiver. It's like
yeah.
that. So there is no
So
difference if it's 1 lakh per year or 30 lakh per year. 30
okay.
means 29.99 lakh per year. The 30 lakh is I will say, a limit prescribed by the university rules, and that has to be followed.
Okay. So the thing that I will recommend. So in the channel, I put up videos about LST. There is also, you can search for this Khan Academy fee courses. You don't actually need that. You just pick this course and it'll be done. Okay. A few other questions. I think this is one confusion that everybody has about admission process. Should I fill the Jindal Global Law School application before or after LSAT exam?
So actually, I tell you, the offer of admission is not made on the basis of JGLS application. So whether you apply to JGLS or not, irrespective of that, if you qualify LSAT cutoff, you will be given an offer of admission. Because LSAT India is our only admission test, it's a mandatory admission test. So, for example, if the cutoff is determined above 80 percentile and none of the students securing above 80 percentile has applied to Jindal, even then everyone will receive an offer of admission above 80 percentile. But if some student with 79 percentile marks have applied to Jindal, but is not fulfilling the cutoff, will not receive an offer of admission. So requirement is LSAT exam. But then JGLS application is a mandatory procedural requirement. So you are free to fill the form before or after, now or after even LSAT result, after qualifying. That doesn't make a problem. So,
Uh,
but you have to fill that form. You can do it later. There is no need to be in a hurry for that. Admission is not based on that form.
So our priority number one is LSAT India form, then wait for the results. And then if you have results, automatically you'll get offer letter from the college.
Very
And then you
true.
can then you can do the necessary things. So there is a few questions. I think there are a few more questions with respect to preparation, which I'll pick it up. Okay. And before that, I have got a couple of questions which I think I will pick that one here. Okay, so there is one question, couple of questions. Dorab is asking, so there is one Jan exam and June exam, LSAT India. Uh, so how do you sort of consider the scores if somebody has taken both the test?
So actually, 40% of the seats are already filled through the JAN exam. So students who have already secured admission, for example, we have 300 seats, 5 sections in BA LLB honors. We have another 5 sections in BBA LLB honors, 300 seats, and 180 seats, 3 sections in BCom LLB honors. So these are the total number of seats available in the 5-year law program. Now, almost 40% is taken up by the January test takers, and 60% seats remain for the June test takers, which is like the larger number of seats. But it remains competitive because number of test takers will certainly be expected to be more than say 5,000 or 6,000, and then the number of seats will be 1/10 of that, or maybe even lesser than that. So it's like almost 10 application for one seat, and the cutoff rules will apply. So students who are serious, they should prepare well, and that is why I wanted to, have you, because I consider you to be the best mentor, best faculty member available in the country in some way, in my understanding, for this exam, and also most of the aptitude tests. And I think your inputs, because the way you are telling about marks, I cannot say you get 70 marks, you get 80 percentile or 90 percentile. I have no idea, because out of 92 questions, I have absolute clarity that how percentile system will work. If the all India topper will mark 60 questions correct, then 60 marks will become 99.99 percentile. But nobody knows in LSAC system that what the topper got. He will be given a band. So it's a unique system. They do it the same thing for the American LSAT also. In the American LSAT exam also, every student is put in a band of 120 to 180. And if you look at the Harvard Law School or Yale Law School or Columbia Law School, their LSAT cutoff goes to 170 plus, or 171, 171.5, or 172, something like that. So it's the same system they do for LSAT
So,
India exam as well.
I had a word with the LSAC saying that in the US they give a band, raw score to scale score conversion. Okay, so as a band conversion, so they have not given it. So the way in which I'm telling the score is because I know the students score during the mock test, and then I know how much they scored in the actual exam. So I'm just making a guesstimate here. So when I'm giving these numbers out, please do mind that these are
It's an
uh,
intelligent guess by a
uh,
faculty. I understand.
So there's somebody's asking me, Gio sir, I have heard so much about you, and I have been helping students clear LSAT easily. In which way can I receive help from you? That's what I said. No, I shared a link, Manya. This course is called LSAT India 480. I've shared this link. So you can just Google LSAT India 480. That's a course. And what this course has got a set of video lessons. It has got about 75 video lessons. And LSAT India, please understand, is a very standardized test. Somebody was asking me, is preparing for CLAT enough for LSAT? Technically, yes. But then LSAT India, you don't have to do too many things. It is once you understand what the test is. For example, in CLAT, I don't know what month current affair they're going to ask. I don't know what will they ask in maths. I don't even know today whether logical reasoning section of CAT will have analytical reasoning questions. But what I know, so the fact that LSAT India is a very standardized test, you have to pick up something. There are two choices. One, you can Google Khan Academy's LSAT. That is free of cost available. Lessons are free of cost, though it is US sort of based test. That is free. And then you can pick up mock tests from LSAC, original mock test. Just use those questions and that lesson. So there'll be some cost attached to that mock test, but that is one. Second is you can pick up my course, and things should be done. Uh, so here, another
So, I
question.
mean, if I could
So-
add,
sure.
it's very, I mean, understandable. There is no uh, GK current affairs in LSAT. There is
Correct.
no
Maths.
legal aptitude or legal reasoning. There is no question on mathematics. There is no objective English, sentence correction, or grammar and vocabulary based questions. So LSAT is different exam. But certainly, if you have prepared for CLAT, the reasoning part, the reading comprehension part is going to help you. And what I have heard from people, that even the CLAT and ILET exams, the other exams are also slowly moving towards LSAT in terms of asking reasoning questions. And even legal reasoning questions. They are putting a lot of emphasis on critical reasoning. So I think LSAT preparation will also help students in taking CLAT, IELTS, other exams.
Yeah, so
What
I
do you
think
say
there is
about it?
understandable. It's a completely comprehension based test. If you are prepared for the CLAT, lot of things you already know. It's just about aligning to the test and knowing what the test pattern is. That's it. I'm sure that you are not, and those of you who are not started preparing at all, which will be, I think, very rare. I don't think that you'll wake up today and that I want to start. I have not prepared anything. We would have done some sort of an effort. Even if, let's say, you are that category, this does not have any knowledge. The problem with CLAT is that because of GK, I need to continuously mug stuff. Here is about comprehension. So this is a test that you can crack. I'll pick up a few questions. I think Divya has a question. Sir, I have taken admission through my January attempt, but having received the scholarship. So will my June score be considered? What they're saying is that I did not probably get 90 percentile score in the Jan attempt, but I'm wanting to take one more attempt to probably hit the 95th percentile, 99th percentile. In such a case, what is a
Of course, I mean, Jijo, what we do if a student is taking both the exams,
okay?
January and June, we take the higher score for the purpose of a scholarship in the
Oh,
best interest of students. So suppose you got zero scholarship, but you get a 99 percentile in June exam. You may get a 50 or 100% tuition fee depending on your rank in the scholarship merit list. So of course, the only requirement is your parental income limit criteria should be satisfied. It should not be more than 30 lakh. So if that is satisfied, any student who has not received a scholarship in January, they should take the June exam if they are eligible to receive a scholarship. If they seek only admission, then there is no need to repeat the exam.
yeah. Okay. And there is this question, three questions which are linked. I think this is a simple question to answer. For 5 year Jindal only accept LSAT score? Yes, only
Yes.
LSAT. And then there is this question about what about JSAT law, and which brings a question, which exam for 3 year LLB for Jindal Global. So I think that these two are somewhat linked. So I will let
Yeah,
you.
absolutely. It's linked question. So for 3 year LLB and even for 1 year LM program, the law school accepts scores other than LSAT India as well. So JSAT law is a Jindal scholastic aptitude test which is administered by Pearson View independently, and it's an ongoing test like GMAT, and you can book the slot and you can take the online test anytime. And for 3 year LLB, we accept JSAT law, we accept LSAT India score, and we also accept Delhi University LLB entrance test. These are three entrance exams which are accepted till this year for admission to 3 year LLB. And even for 1 year LM, we accept even CLAT PGS score. So it's like only 5 year law where LSAT India is mandatory, and no student who has not qualified LSAT India score, even if you get All India rank 1 in CLAT or any other exam, that won't be accepted because our admission rules require LSAT India percentile score and qualifying that.
I also know that the 3 year LLB program, the LSAT percentile is calculated separately than the 5 year students.
Very
So
true.
the test calculate the percentile, and so if you are applying for 3 years, my suggestion is do take the LSAT and also do take the JSAT law, so that you are sort of
Of course, and your higher score will be considered if
uh,
you apply for a scholarship, if a scholarship is on your mind. Because a lot of students do not apply for a scholarship, they are not eligible because of parental income criteria. A lot of them do not need also. So they want a scholarship to go to those people who are, who otherwise may not afford. So, but those students who are in need of a scholarship and who satisfy the requirement, it's always better to take both exams, or even the third exam as well, because higher the score you secure, we will consider for a scholarship award.
okay. So there is this one question neither me nor Anand sir can answer. My software is not functioning properly. There has been 3 weeks since I made LSAT. How should I proceed? I think what you can do, if you have your email address, just mail it to me. I can probably figure that out, but I'll only represent you. I cannot solve this problem, and I'm sure that these sort of issues they will get back to you. If there are numbers available on the website, please do check with them.
So,
Is there?
Gejo, there is a dedicated email address.
Yeah,
I think it's discoverlawindia dot at the rate lsac.org. You can find that on contact us page on LSAT India website. And there are two mobile numbers they have given, which are functional during 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. working hours. They will help you. You know, there is a team. There is a team of technical people. They ensure every student system check is done before your exam. So I think once you are able to download your admit cards for the exam, they will compulsorily do a system check and even a mock test. So Tarasha should not be worried about this software. Not they will ensure you just follow the protocol and download the correct, I will say, interface what they are mailing you, and they will help you. The LSAT India team will help
yeah.
you. They ensure each and every student is helped in setting up the system properly because the online remote proctor test. So you should contact by email as well as by call to LSAT India team.
So I just posted the numbers of them from the website. Just call them. Let's. So I'm getting questions which are largely on now scholarship and the test. So let me pick up any more question on scholarship. Keep posting them. So we have these questions. I think these two questions are linked. Which is what is the procedure for applying for scholarship? And Devyam has a question: do I specifically need to apply for scholarship, or will I get the scholarship automatically if I get more than 90 percentile?
That's a
So
very
what?
good question.
Hmm,
Actually, there is a scholarship application form which you need to. So, what happens, Jijo, when result
hmm,
comes, we
hmm,
know who are the students above 90 percentile.
correct.
So we immediately send a mail with a scholarship application form link only to those who are above 90 percentile that please submit this form if you want to apply for a scholarship. And there they can upload the parental ITR also. So if you secure 90 percentile score, automatically you become eligible to apply for a scholarship, but an application need to be submitted. It's a 10 minutes form. It's a very simple form because the primary basis is your LSAT score, which is with us. So we know who is eligible to, be ranked in the scholarship merit list.
So the thing is that they will know, but you still have to apply. So they will send you
Apply,
the
yeah.
form,
Very true.
and then link to scholarship. I think this question is simple. Is there any separate test for scholarship? And it said no, only LSAT India score
Very
is
true.
what is being mentioned. Okay, so those are the questions that we put. Uh, Sir, okay. So I think some questions about the admissions here. Let me just pick that questions here first. If first cutoff list is met, is it necessary to offer BLLB, or someone can offer BCom BLLB as well? So the question I think I understand is that is the first given only forcefully are they put in BLLB, or have they given choices?
No, I tell you, our BCom LLB honors program started last year only. It was the first batch was admitted in 2021. And the first student I remember, first one or two student who paid the fee was for BCom LLB. He
This year, you
wanted
said.
to, yeah, last year.
Okay, okay,
So
okay.
those who have higher percentile who get their offer first, they have choice, but you can choose only one option. You can choose either BA or BBA or BCom. Though practically all three programs are identical and equal, and there is no such, any mark difference. So, but then, of course, if you are getting a higher score, if you are in the first merit list, you have to choose that. And also, I will be candid. If you delay in making fee payment, there is a good chance that the seats are taken up. Last year, this thing happened. We released our first list on 21st of June. On 20th June, we received the result, and 21st June, we sent the offer. On 22nd June, next day, 3 p.m., all the seats of BLLB were taken up. So
Oh.
what happened in 36 or maybe 40 hours, the 300 seats were finished. People paid the fee, blocked their seat. Now there were students with a 99 percentile or 98 percentile who were actually keen to take BA LLB, but they have only option to take either BBA LLB or BCom LLB. And they approached our office. But the rule is once the offer is sent above a particular score, everybody becomes equal. And it's on first come, first served basis. Whoever pays the fee, their seat is secured. So we guide the students in this regard. After LSAT exam, when even before the result, we send detailed emails that they should be prepared to pay the fee in a particular manner, so that they can, the moment they receive an offer, within few hours they can make the fee payment and block their seat.
Wonderful. So here is another question with admission. I think, sir, I'm from humanities background. Then can I apply for BLLB? I'm sure yes. I don't think there is
Of
any
course,
restriction.
of course.
Yeah. So there is this question. I think this is a simple question answer. During the system check test, does the mark matter? No, no. System check is just system check. Please mark all C, and there'll be no problem. So I'm going to pick up a few questions where the students have asked with respect to this one. I thought an interesting question here. So if there are more questions, please keep posting them. Then I'll just pick a few questions from here. I think the question was, what is the difference between law school and a global law school? I think I just kind of missed that.
It's a,
Yeah,
it's
there
a
you go.
very
That's a
it's a
question.
very good question. Actually, uh, I will give some historical background, Gejo. Jindal is not the first law school to claim or to call itself a global law school. It started with NYU, the New York University School of Law, in early 90s, when they realized that the lawyers who are trained from American law schools, who are actually graduating from the US law schools, they are very good lawyers for their home jurisdiction for the US, but they are not trained enough to become lawyers in other jurisdictions, other countries, because law traditionally has been a single jurisdictional study and practice. When you study law in India, you practice law in India. You study law in Bombay, you practice law in Bombay courts or Delhi courts. It has been a localized profession. But what happened in last, say, 30 years, law as a profession has become a global profession. A lot of newer areas of law emerged, including the commercial and corporate law and intellectual property and even trade and investment related laws and alternative dispute resolution and international commercial arbitration. A lot of areas emerged in the entire range of international laws, which are not jurisdiction limited. They are actually global in nature. And that is what inspired NYU to launch a Hosher Global Law Program. And what they did, they invited scholars and professors and jurists from other countries to come and teach at NYU. So in those times, Professor Upendra Bakshi from University of Delhi, who is now distinguished professor of law at Jindal Global Law School, went to New York and taught in NYU Law School as a part of that program. And NYU, in a way, started this global law school movement. Later on, National University of Singapore, the NUS, claimed to be the global law school of Asia and offered a global law program. And later on, also collaborated with NYU to offer a joint LLM program where one semester a student studied in Singapore and another in New York. So when Jindal Global Law School started in 2008, Professor Rajkumar, our founding vice chancellor, was very clear that we want to train students to become global legal professionals, to become global lawyers who are comfortable working as a lawyer in any jurisdiction and not just India and Indian courts and Indian legal system. Because if you look at the global legal services market, India doesn't have even 1% share of that. And one of the reason being the lawyers who graduate from Indian law schools were not even trained and capable enough to handle international legal matters. They actually only very few of them who went for LLM and qualified bar exams in those countries and worked there for some time become in a way a foreign lawyer. So I will like to say a global law school is a law school where the various courses of law are taught in a comparative and international way. That means you do not just study the statute or the constitution or the laws of your domestic country, but you also do a comparative study of law with multiple other jurisdictions. So you look at what the same provision is, how that is treated in, say, the US laws or Canadian laws or Australian laws or even civil law jurisdictions, civil law countries. So at Jindal Global Law School, you may be aware there are faculty members from 40 different countries. So there are trained lawyers and law professors who are members of the bar in the US or Canada or Singapore or even Bulgaria and Iceland and New Zealand and around the world. So even Afghanistan, we have professors who are having, their legal education background from 40 different countries. So when they teach courses, naturally a comparative study of law happens in almost every course that is offered. And that prepares a student to take up international law careers. I should tell you that over 50 of our graduates have qualified New York bar and California bar exam in last 5 years. Another 50 have become lawyers in the UK. There are quite a few who have become lawyers in Germany, in Australia. Australian Bar Council recognizes our law degree for entry to the Australian bar. So we have quite a few of our alumni who are trained lawyers in Sydney and Melbourne and other cities. In Ontario bar in Canada, there are another a group of maybe 10 of our graduates who are practicing, who are working in Canadian law firms, in companies, many of them in UAE, in Singapore, in London. So the thing is, a lot of students are aspiring for global legal careers and not limit themselves to Indian law firms and Indian legal industry. And that is happening because of the exposure, the education they receive at the law school, and the vision of becoming a global lawyer and not just, a domestic lawyer. So that
Wonderful.
is a major difference. If you study at National University of Singapore, you are not just trained to become a lawyer in Singapore, but any part of the world. So likewise, I believe at Jindal Global Law School, when you study, you are trained to become a lawyer for the whole world.
There you go. So there are some quick question. I think this question is JSAT pattern same as LSAT. It is actually
Yeah.
not. Huh?
No,
It is
it's actually
by more or less very
similar.
similar. Uh,
Similar, yeah. In
I will
the
say,
only
I,
difference is in LSAT there are two sections on logical reasoning, one on analytical reasoning and one on reading comprehension. In JSAT law, there is one section each, one on analytical reasoning, one section on logical reasoning, and one section on reading comprehension. So
yeah,
it's 20 questions, it's 60 question paper.
yeah. So some of the type of questions are slightly different, but fundamentally you just need to prepare for one.
Similar questions, yeah,
Uh,
similar paper.
I've got some interesting question. Now, this is Anshed's question. You are first telling me the scholarship will be given late after. So then I have to pay the fees first. Then you'll give him back the
Yes,
money.
that is true.
That's
Ansh is right. You have to pay the fee first because a scholarship is awarded to only those students who have secured their admission. But it happens, it's done very fast. And also in advance, you can know, because we come to know how many students are above, say, 99 percentile or 98 percentile or 97 percentile. So our office is able to tell you that if you have, say, a 99 percentile score or 98 percentile score, you are going to get 50% tuition fee waiver in a scholarship if you are otherwise eligible. So you can know your scholarship amount. If you get just 90 or 91 percentile, you may be getting only 10% scholarship. So we can tell you that what amount of a scholarship you would be getting. But of course, a scholarship list comes after you pay the fee, and there is an option of taking refund of the fee also. So your fee, 100% fee is refunded till a particular date. So those things are in there. Yeah.
The question is, what is the syllabus for LSAT PG? I'm guessing the question is for 3 year. What is the LSAT? It's the same test.
Same
Okay,
test.
so
Very
so
true.
it's the same test administered for 5 year program and 3 year program. It's just that the percentile is calculated for the group of students. 5 years will be calculated for the 5 years and 3 years. So the syllabus is exactly the same. So you have the next question. Is there any reservation quota in LSAT? I don't think LSAT has one. I think LSAT is just a body that conducts the test. The colleges would have. So this would be probably, is there a reservation quota in Jindal?
So at Jindal, there is no quota. There is no quota for anybody. There is no NRI quota. There is no foreign national quota. There is no management quota. There is not even one seat with Mr. Jindal, our chancellor. So there is no quota for anyone. 100% of the seats are open merit seats. The fee is equal whether somebody is an American or Canadian citizen, or I mean students from 17 different countries apply to study at Jindal. Last year we received application from 17 countries. So it's all absolutely same and equal. So we do not have many law school. I have seen they reserve seats for foreign nationals or NRI quota where they charge higher fees, or they even relax the entrance exam requirement or cutoff. And in some way, it appears like another entry that if you are an NRI, you pay high fee and easy admission without any score or with a very low score. So at Jindal, everybody is uniform. One entrance exam and no quota for anyone. No seat is available for even the management or anyone.
Yeah. I think this information they can get from the site, but I don't know. But still, the question is asked, so I am going to post it. What is the fee structure?
Yeah, so actually the tuition is 6 lakh, and the hostel charges, which includes food, accommodation, laundry, and all other expenses, is 2.76 lakh. So if a student is not receiving any scholarship, the university fees will be 8.76 lakh per year.
Okay.
And if you are receiving a scholarship, your tuition fee will be reduced, but there is no scholarship on the food, accommodation, and laundry charges. And then university doesn't have any other hidden cost or any other fee other than this. So there is no examination fee even. There is no library or sports or moot court or any such activity fee. It's all inclusive. Even if you learn few foreign languages, even if you choose Mandarin Chinese and study for 5 years, if you choose 2 foreign languages, if you take up courses in other schools, any number of electives, so nothing is chargeable. Whatever you pay is one fee for everything available on the university campus.
Right. Okay, so we have got, sir, you are giving answers in very comprehensive manner. Thank you. Okay, so we have got another one. I've got, I think this is very similar to the other one, but I still post it. When we get the results, the people who want to apply scholarship will have to wait for the acceptance of the scholarship application.
Oh, there is no, not really. You just
Okay.
need to submit a form. And I mean, we tell your scholarship immediately after you pay your fee, and even we start issuing the scholarship letters. So it's all done within 1 week time.
Yeah. So which answer? I think the next question.
You do not have
During
to
the,
wait.
during that time, won't the people who won't need scholarship occupy the seat before applying for the scholarship? I think what I understand this is that anyway, these are very transparent, right? You know your salary, okay? You know your percentile score. You know what scholarship you're going to get, and Jindal knows it. And once the application is done, it's all going to be fast. I have, at least in the last so many years, has not have faced a single candidate who has the problem that you're saying, Divyam. So I can vouch as an independent body outside of the college to say that you will have no problem. Nothing that
And
is.
I will like to tell Devyam or any student like him that paying the uh, fee to block your seat is, of course, the first thing you should be doing. If you aspire to study at Jindal, you should be ready to pay the fee immediately after you receive the offer. Because sometimes, as I told last year, so what happened last year, even students got delay after that as well. So in another 2 days, all the BBLLB seats were gone. So it was 6 days, 100% of the admission was completed. So then students came to us that I have secured a 95 percentile and I want BBLLB, but I'm only getting BCom LLB. Though all three programs are equal, but students may have preferences. So we cannot help in that. So a student should always like, even if you are a scholarship, I mean, the moment you receive your LSAT score, in a way you can know how much a scholarship you will be getting with that score. So accordingly, you can budget your education, your study at Jindal. If your score is less than 90 percentile, you know that you have to study in full fee, and there won't be any scholarship available if you are up to 89.99 percentile.
Okay. And I'm sure that the of admission office, which is
Yes,
what
we keep on sending detailed emails.
yeah, just to ensure that you read all those emails, right?
Yes, yes, that is a problem, Jijo. I'll be very candid with you. I mean, majority of students, they are going to study law. They want to become lawyers, and of course they get selected, and in 5 years they are transformed. I have seen students becoming truly learned individuals and achieving completely different level. At entry level, they are not ready to read emails. They do not read even the admission offer document properly. So whatever is written in the offer of admission document, that what steps you have to follow to make fee payment, to submit a acceptance note, a reply note to secure your admission. I mean, they keep on calling the admission office but do not read the document. So I will certainly like if our students uh, start, that habit of reading legal official documents when they receive it, and that is really
Okay.
helpful.
Okay. So we have got. I think there is one question. I think let's maybe give it. How can you please? We can prepare very less time for LSAT India. Okay. Starting point. If let's say if I have to give you LSAT India is going to happen from the 22nd. I think we have an option to pick the dates. I don't know how many days would that be there. So let's assume that I've got 10 days, right? Let's assume that I'm going to spend maybe about 3 hours. So I have 30 hours with me for preparing for LSAT. Let's say that's my plan. It's very simple. There are only three areas: logic, uh, three type of question: critical reasoning question, reading comprehension question, and analytical reasoning question. 10 hours. Okay. So in for example, in 10 hours, one set you'll probably initially on an average you can take about you solve a set. You want to go through the set once again. One set will probably take about what 20 minutes. So in 1 hour you can do about three sets. Three into 10 hours, 30 sets. So 30 reading comprehension passages, 30 analytical reasoning questions, and roughly about 100 odd critical reasoning questions. So all that you need is the right kind of questions. Two, three sources. Source number one, you've got access. There are LSAT official mock test by LSAC. They are the one who conduct the paper. They are only giving the question paper to you. It is going to be ekdam authentic. So you obviously don't have, you have to use the test as practice, don't as a mock test. After every test, use the question. Choice number one. Choice number two, you can do it, you can solve these kind of questions by going to Khan Academies. Just type Khan Academy LSAT. You get free access to the video. Choice number three, what you have is you can pick my course, which is LSAT India 480, for which I had already shared the link. It's a set of recorded video. But what you essentially need is you need to get access to actual LSAT India tests, which is there. And then it's once you, let's say, first what you do is also go to discover law today. Let's say today, if you want to start the preparation, go to discoverlaw.com. They have a free prep test. It is available. PDF form is available. Take that test first, understand where you are, and create a plan. So there is this question: what about dual degree? What is
Yeah,
a
I tell you, it's a good question actually, because very few students initially know about these opportunities. So there are three types of education study abroad programs at Jindal Global Law School. One of them is a dual degree program where you can earn an Indian law degree. You are already doing that at Jindal Global Law School. And you can also earn an American law degree, American JD qualification, Juris Doctor qualification, by choosing to become an exchange student after 4 years. So it becomes like a 4+2 program. You spend 4 years at Jindal Global Law School. In the fifth year, you get transferred to a partner university. Say we have a very strong collaboration with Cornell University, with Cornell Law School in Ithaca, New York, and it's a top one Ivy League institution. So you can directly join the second year JD. You remain an exchange student for us in the final year, and you study one more year there in 4+2 years, which otherwise it will take 5 years law in India and 3 years JD in US, 8 years time. You get both Indian LLB after 5 years, Indian BA LLB or BB LLB or BCom LLB, and you get American JD after sixth year. So you qualify. Juris Doctor is like the, I will say, uh, the most important law degree, not just in the US but entire world. I mean, many US presidents are JD graduates, and with a JD you qualify. I mean, you can take any bar exam in the US. With an LLM, you can take only California and New York bar exams. So a lot of students prefer to do a 5 year law program and go for 1 year LLM to an American or law school in other countries. But the dual degree JD is for those students who want to become both an Indian and American lawyer at the same time. And there is certain high credentials needed. You should not have failed any course in the first 4 years. All your papers should be clear. You should have a particular CGPA requirement, and then only you can be transferred to Cornell or Indiana or Arizona, or even we have a tie-up with the University of New Hampshire, the Franklin Pierce Law School, which is like world's number one in intellectual property law. We have even tie up with a dual degree LLM programs where after 4 years you can go to a partner university like say Fletcher School at Tufts University in the US, or Queen Mary University of London, or even quite a few institutions, even few in Australia at UNSW and Monash. You can seek a transfer, and you can pursue a 4+1 program also where you can complete an LLM, and the credits you earn there is transferred to as your final year marks. So it's a very comprehensive credit transfer system where the American law school or the foreign law school, they accept our credits and we accept the credits earned by you as an exchange student there. So dual degree program is basically for those students who aspire to become qualified lawyers in more than one country, and it's a great pathway, I will say, but also expensive because the JD qualification is pretty expensive in the US, and if you are able to afford the cost, and even if you get some scholarship or uh, things like that, if you can manage, it's a great choice. But then also I will say, if I look at this year's class, the batch which graduated in 2021, 60 of our students chose to go for master's degree. So they went to Oxford, Cambridge, King's College London, LSE, uh, University College London, and then to NYU, Columbia, Cornell, Michigan, Stanford, all these places for 1 year masters. So that is another good pathway. So it's not necessary that you choose an JD only, but that is a good pathway if you have that aspiration.
Wonderful. I think, Yamina, what is the difference between LSAT PG and LSAT UG? First of all, there is no LSAT PG and LSAT UG. There is a test known as LSAT India, right? That is one test. Now, this test can be taken by those students aspiring for the 5-year program and also for those who are aspiring for a 3-year program, which are aligned with the LSAC test, right? So there is no difference. There is just one test. And for all the schools that takes admission, whether it is 3-year or 5-year program, use that one test called LSAT India, right? All they do is to rank you separately. Well, all the 5-year applicants are ranked separately, and the 3-year applicant are ranked separately, but they're taking the same test. Okay, this LSAT India. So I'm sure that is clarified. So I hope. So there's a basic question. I recently got to know that LSAT and applied it 4 days before. Wonderful. First step done. And I'm preparing for my SSC exams. It's okay. What if I can't score good in LSAT? Are there paid seat available? I think the answer to the last question is no.
SSC means class 12 exam, maybe the
Class
state.
12.
So,
I was thinking Bombay SSC got over. I think this will be some other state.
so
I'm sorry. Yeah.
not to worry. I mean, Ali Arshad, the thing is, every student who is taking LSAT and CLAT exams, they are all taking class 12 exams. So you are not alone. Everybody is, I mean, majority of them, unless somebody is a dropper who has passed their 12th last year, majority, a vast majority is those who are appearing 12th with you. So no need to worry about that. And I think Gejo is a great mentor to tell you, and he has already told this, that you have enough time available even now. If
Yeah.
you are ready to prepare with, you put in that kind of hard work, I think LSAC Law Prep course provides 10 question papers for practice. You can buy 10 model question papers, full length papers, and even your course, which I have seen, it's elaborate LSAT prep course. If any student combine the two, it's like I think it's nothing more could be done for LSAT India preparation. But certainly you should have to focus, and there is no pet seat, there is no concept of pet seat. So you understand there is no seat available in law school except by merit in the entrance exam.
And also, you should also understand that there are colleges also outside of Jindal Global Law School which accept the LSAT India scores. And I'm sure that you've got other exams that you're taking. I think when you're going through this process, let's not consider this what if only. Let's remove the what if from our mind, because if we keep having what if, it is not healthy, it is not useful, it doesn't take us nowhere. I think all we have is that we have got certain time with us, and in those time, look at what is the most effective preparation to be done. When it comes to LSAT India test, I'm telling you, it's a standardized test. What I think people have to understand what a standardized test means, which means I can predict the type of question that will come. There is no change in pattern. Go to the length of passages. I know the length of passages is going to be around 450 words. I know it today. I know, for example, so if you just have to, all you have to do is authentic LSAT material. That's important. For that, just you can just buy the LSAT official test that they give, and life is set. You just go through that, and life is set. Okay, so we have got some quick question. I'll pick up these questions. I think we are already approximately after how many days are LSAT results usually out? I think about 30 days. I think.
2 weeks
Two
usually,
weeks, 15
15
to
days.
15
But
days.
generally, LSAT India website puts, I mean, announces the date when you can expect your result. So if the exam is during, say, 22nd to 23rd, 25th June, uh, I think you might expect your result. You have to check the website, but maybe by 10th of July or so.
I think, can you please tell me how can prepare very less time? First of all, there is no very less time. There is time in hand. Let's not qualify it by saying it is very less time. I'm telling you, again, Ramesh, for everyone, standardized test. right? You have to get access to the official LSAT India content. The course that I run, for example, I have got, I use only the material given by me and so I have a contract where I'm using official tests. There is this on LSAT India website, you get tests. Use, I think that is good enough, right? And I've also told you that if the easy, another way out is to look at the Khan Academy free course. The starting point, Ramesh, and for everyone, is that go and take the free prep test. Take the test. Let me give you some score guidelines. If you are able to get something close to 50, I think safe. Out of 92, you are safe. I think it can be 45 to 50 or by and large safe. If you want to start getting ekdam safe, then you need to get a score of close to about 60, which is 15, 15, 15, 15 each in the four section. Now, if you want to hit the scholarship, you want to start getting close to about 70. So 70s. So that is a rough sort of estimate. Okay.
Wonderful. Uh, and I think there is a question about LLM. I could
That,
see
that's a question. Huh?
actually the postgraduate is includes LLB and LLM. So if you are taking LSAT India, it will be used for LLM admissions as well. But then for LLM admission, you can take JSAT Law, you can take CLAT PG, you can take even DU LLM. These three other exams we accept. So if you have registered for LSAT India, go for this test. If you have not, you can register for JSAT Law and even take exam early, secure your admission early. So for LLM program, I will recommend you to just get in touch with Law School Admissions Office. Our LLM admission managers will help you in the process.
Yeah. So, okay, so sorry, I think I missed that question. Is it okay if I prepare for LSAT by LR book from CLAT and other law admission? Sorry for asking silly question. It's not a silly question. So, if you're already preparing for CLAT, lot of your concepts are there, right? But like I told you that it is important that you take LSAT India papers. It is important because LSAT India paper has got a standard structure. By the time you solve about four paper, you know what the paper is. So I will, when you look first of all, legal LA, I think is legal. Legal, there is no legal in LSAT. Okay, so there is, you can just forget it. Okay, logical reasoning for CLAT, you've got passages. These are all short questions. To answer the question, yes, the CLAT preparation will definitely help. But what I'm suggesting is that you do pick up those tests. In fact, I'll go one step further because LSAT is a much better test, and I'm stating this with no shame. LSAT is a test that the LSAT US started in 1943. Then and they're doing the same test, and they made it is a test that has been there for I don't know decades before I was born, and therefore as a quality of the questions, the quality of what they test is far superior than any of our tests. So, which means for those of you taking, let's say, CLAT next year, I would actually recommend that you start prepare for LSAT first because your foundation will be so solid that will take care of complete comprehension that is required for CLAT, and all you need to do is a little bit of maths and GK uh, for next year students. So, I would any day say that they have from you can ask anyone who has taken LSAT, looking at the papers, going through the paper, the quality, of course, is far better. Okay, so now the people have gone two steps ahead. After securing admission, Jindal, what is the process for applying for hostels?
Oh, you don't have to apply. Whoever joins Jindal, it's a compulsorily
Ah,
residential university.
you're
So you
forced.
have to. You are allocated hostel by the university itself. So you don't
Yeah.
have. It's not like traditional university system where you secure admission in the college and then go to hostels like I did in Delhi University. I remember I applied to 6 different hostels and then I got one hostel on the basis of my merit in the entrance exam. No such thing. It's a compulsorily residential university and program. So you will be given hostel seat. And we also consider a student's request at the time of hostel allocation when you come to join the campus. If you have some preference in, say, a friend from your school had joined and both of you want to be allocated the same room and those things, there is a big warden office headed by a chief student affairs officer, and then there are both like male and female wardens. So they take care of it. It's a very professional setup. You need not worry about these things.
Wonderful. So, can you tell me last minute tips? I already told you. I think I've addressed this. So, quickly, a couple of more questions. I think we are done. What is expected cutoff marks for LSAT 2022 compared to previous cutoff? Okay. LSAT, please don't look at LSAT like CLAT, right? LSAT is a standardized test. So, what LSAT does is to give a scale score. They want to compare one test to another test based on level of difficulty. So, they have psychometric process. They give a score band between 420 and 480. So, your raw score is converted into a scale score. A sort of think of this: a 50 percentile student will get a scale score of 450. Okay, so it's given a band. They also give a percentile rank. So what colleges, especially Jindal uses, uses the percentile rank. So what we have discussed so far is last year for I believe the BLLB closed at 80 percentile, BBLLB closed at 70 percentile, and BCO closed at 60 percentile. And the percentile rank is also dependent upon number of applicants. So it is very difficult to say answer to this particular question. An expected cutoff and compared to previous cutoffs, because it is a standardized test, the test is going to be almost similar difficult level across years. So if you have access to the previous year's paper, or you don't have access, you have access to those tests, your actual LSAT India will be very similar to that. I
Very
think.
true. And I will say you should be aiming for the best score which you could achieve. You should not leave any question because there is no negative marking. But there is a sectional timing for 22 questions or 23 questions. You get 35 minutes of time. So you must mark all questions if you are not able to,
Uh,
even mark correctly. But don't leave questions. That is one tip from my side because there is no negative marking. And a score above 70 percentile or 75 percentile will remain safe for admission.
what is the marks school required? I don't think that there is only LSAT
Oh,
India score,
it's
right?
a class 12th marks he might be asking. So,
Uh,
Bar Council of India has a rule since 1961 when the Advocates Act was passed that 45% marks in class 12th or 45% marks in graduation in qualifying exam is needed to study law. So, class 12 marks has no role in admission except, but if you have 44.9 as per Advocates Act, as per Bar Council of India rules, you cannot study law. So 45% is required is a qualifying marks in if you choose 3-year LLB, that should be in a BA or undergrad program. If you choose 5-year law in class 12.
okay. I think I don't know this question. So dual degree, we have to do both the courses from Jindal.
I think it's something after 4 years of a study you have to do. The question you should be asking being part of law school.
Okay, so
And
we'll reserve this question once you enter the campus. Uh,
absolutely.
so the question is, out of 180, how much do we need to get? So now this 180 band, 161, I think 140, 120 to 180 band. Okay, this 120 to 180 band is a band that is used in US. Okay, that is a US band. India band is 420 to 480. So if you are for some reason using the US test, and US tests are high, LSAT US level of difficulty is higher than that of India. So it will be very difficult for me to answer this question as to
No,
what
because
band.
US test is for JD program for
They
postgraduate students,
for
for
old
Juris
people.
Doctor program at Harvard and Columbia and Yale and Stanford and all those institutions. So you have to focus. You have 92 questions to answer. How many questions maximum you can mark correct?
First, don't no negative marking. Please don't. You can please mark every question. Quick. I think some of this question I can answer quickly. Can we skip a particular section? No, you can't. You are given an order. You have to follow it. 35 minutes. If you finish the section early, you don't get extra time for the next section. 35, 35, 35, 35. The order is you can't decide the order. It will come in any order. Okay. So somebody really wants to say that if anyone is nearby Jindal, is hostel compulsory? I am guessing the answer is yes. I'm guessing it. Hana, sir?
Hostel is mandatory. I mean, even
Ah,
if you are child of a faculty member who has got a faculty accommodation inside campus, you have to actually go and reside in hostel, and you can't stay with your parents who are staying inside the university.
तो that is.
So it's a compulsorily residential program. You have to stay in university hostel. So even if you have a home inside the university or near the university, it doesn't matter.
Is it necessary to attempt each and every section? Yes, it is. Why would you not attempt? Because there is no negative marking. At least please mark C everywhere. You'll get some marks. Okay, so what are these bands? These are how the scoring pattern. I think that you can just go to discoverlaw.in. The details are given. It is just a way in which this is the US style of scoring, and we are not used to this band in India. So basically, what they do is that because they have tests that has happened in January and tests that happen in May, how do I compare these two tests? Right? Each of the tests may have different levels. So I need to do some scaling process. Now, in that scaling process, they give a score from 420, 421, 422 till 480. So that what they do, what marks they do, we don't know. None of these colleges, at least from what I've seen in India, uses this band score to make any decision. They make the decision based on percentile. So you focus on the percentile score, which even you don't know. So you just have to ensure that you study well and do the test. I think we have answered so many questions today. Thank you so much.
Almost all the questions, yeah. And I mean, I should we should thank the students who were so enthusiastic to ask the questions. But today is the last date to apply. So anyone
Yes.
who has not registered for LSAT, the most important thing is immediately register for the exam and start preparing for the same. And of course,
Thank you.
our all good wishes with the
Yeah.
students. And even I look forward to welcome you to Sonipat whenever you are there. Please visit the university, and it will be a pleasure meeting you here.
Thank you all. And thank you, sir. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you,
Goodbye to you all.
Gejo. Thank you
Good.
so much for such a nice time today
Yeah.
evening.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay. So we'll end with this note. Thank you for guiding us for this pre-kin exam. Okay.